The Lineker row is not quite over. At the moment, Mr. Lineker has lost his voice. Is this a convenience? Is this true? Or is this yet another savaging by the BBC? Losing your voice is not always losing your voice. I lost my voice. I was still able to go on stage. It's just a matter of working out which bit of your vocal register functions still. Anyway, the Lineker affair, Lucy Powell, that's the opposition spokesperson for digital culture, media and sport, she has said that this is about a cancel culture campaign by the Conservatives, lots of C's there. And it explains how susceptible the BBC leadership is to government pressure, she says. And she also points out that the government is hypocritical at the same time to talk about the freedom of speech. Indeed, the DCMS plans and the CMS plans to limit free speech, or actually it's the D plans, it's the digital plans under, what's her name? Not under Lucy Fraser, but under Michelle Donnellan, the previous incumbent of the DCMS. She still has the brief. The plans to limit free speech in social media. And the efforts, they echo the efforts to silence Lineker's criticisms of Suella Braverman, and indeed of Braverman's successful efforts today to bypass the BBC and all other media critical of her crusade towards her dream of Rwanda. Now, Lucy Powell then went on to criticize the government for the Lineker affair, and she says that taking Lineker off air was for the government something like Putin, something like out of Putin's Russia, she said. Now, Jennifer Lopez was the person answering this diatribe, and Lopez called the shadow culture minister's comparison with Putin's Russia disgraceful and way off mark. We have not, she said, as ministers, sought to interfere or intervene in how this process of Lineker is handled by the BBC. The government has supported the independence of the BBC and the ability of the Director General to make decisions. Well, I'm not sure the Director General has so much ability, but there we are. This is strange. I don't quite understand. This is the minister who cannot answer questions. This is the minister who sends letters that are broadly incoherent, recommending advice and unavailable resources that are inappropriate and unattainable, absent, inaccessible. So I don't quite understand why anybody expected Jennifer Lopez to actually have anything coherent to say at all. If she doesn't know what she's doing in the silence of her own office, how likely is it that she'll be able to answer questions at the dispatch box? It's expecting too much of this lady. But all this demonstrates why Richard Sharp, of course, has gone into hiding, why Richard Sharp has disappeared. John Nicholson actually pointed to that point. He said that he seems to be in hiding. Indeed, he does. This is what people do when they don't have anything that they can say to answer all the questions which are being put to them. John Nicholson's conclusion, however, is, again, a little wide of the mark. I mean, I salute him for his tenacity, but he says this proves that in future there should be no party donors given positions of such influence, either from the Tory party or the Labour Party. I should add, Mr. Nicholson, you should point out also from the SNP, neither from the Conservative Party, nor from the Labour Party, nor from the SNP. Now that would be worthy, wouldn't it, to make sure that the people who are in charge of the BBC are utterly independent and are above suspicion, like Caesar's wife.